AMH Craft and Forge, Everett, Washington.
Hi, welcome to AMH Craft and Forge, a channel that I've been doing now for several years. And I put out a video maybe once a year now, but it's about time I do it. So in today's episode, I am going to show you how I made Damascus steel and created these two little billets, which in part 2 of this, I am going to turn into knives. So watch the process of how I made these and then come back for part 2 where I turn them into knives and reveal the pattern. So here we go. All right, here we go. We have one bar of 15 and 20, 3/16 thick, and one of 1084, 3/16. That's what 3/16 thickness looks like. We're gonna carve those up and get them pretty. Three. Man, that side is dirty as fuck. Another 3. And another 3. Alright, there we go, marked out 3-inch chunks. So I should get 8 pretty equal sizes out of this, and if they're not equal, I will grind them down. There we go. Alright, here we go. All pretty even. Just got to take them to the grinder, get that lip off, and then you see that side is rounded. And that side is flat. And got to flatten that side. So, take it to the grinder. Alright, I'm gonna give the pieces in a bath of mineral spirits to clean off any other gunk that's on there. These are the 15... No, these are the 1084s. Yeah, it's okay. They just need to be completely submerged, and I just totally splashed... totally splashed everywhere. This is gonna smell great. But now that piece of wood is clean. Haha. Shit, I think I needed that for one of my handles. Oh well, there's more where that came from. Gonna let that sit for probably about 20 minutes and take my dog for a walk. And then I'll do the other ones. Alright, so clearly I did not cut them all evenly the same length, but that doesn't matter. So long as I get one side squared, I can clamp them together and weld them. Not pretty welds in the least, but it's doing its job. Gonna do a drop test here. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, that's why we do it. Alright, re-welded it. Fuck. Alright, executive decision. These two pieces just do not want to seem to adhere to this block. This block is solid. I am going to put this block in, and we're just going to do 6 layers. And then we're going to make more out of this block. That's going to be a first. Let's go. All right, so got it cleaned up here a little bit. It is right about 8.5 inches, and I would love to get 3 bars out of this, but that's going to be tricky. I was hoping to do 2 3/4 chunks, but that would take it to, actually, yeah, 8 1/4. Okay, I'm gonna try this, but first I gotta clean this up just a little bit more. All right, just took some of the scale off of it. Still have to make it much smoother than that. Dog's going crazy here. It is just a little bit more than 8.5. I want to get 3 sections out of this, which comes out to be 2 3/4. And that'll still give me a little bit here to cut off. Yeah, so now I'm going to cut these into chunks and then take them over and smooth them out. All right, I've been grinding on these 3 pieces for about an hour. And it comes down to just getting those pits out so that it's all completely flat, because those pits will become a problem as the folding process and twisting process happens. So you got to get full on clean. Sides, not so much. See, like that, whatever. But contact surfaces, stuff that's going to be inside, got to get those. All right, here we go. They're cleaned up. No pits. This is going to be the middle piece, so I got it totally smooth on both sides. So that's going to be that one. That's a smooth side. That'll be the bottom side. I don't care about that so much. So we'll stack that one. And then this bugger, I cut a little too short. So that one's going to stay on top like that. And see, there's overhang right there. But that, I don't care too much about that, because once we squish that down, that'll be drawn out and probably become something else. But there we go. Time to do some horrible welding. Alright. See? Lined up pretty good. Except that one's shorty. But no worries. It'll work. Gross. Ugly welds, but it holds. And yeah, there are some gaps here and there you can see. But that's what borax is for. Alright, I'm gonna throw it in the fire here in just a minute. Alright, so there's a cross section. I just threw that in some ferric chloride. And I had to cut this chunk off at the end there because, look at that, that thing was cracked. Well, just not properly forge welded. The other end of this is the one that was overlapped a little bit. I think is fine, but I'm going to throw it back in, square this up a little bit more because it's a little long up here at the top. Alright, I just shut it down because we're getting a little frosty on the old propane. That thing's maybe half full, but it was starting to sputter a little bit, so I used to have a big thing of water that I would set it in, but that's not conducive to where it's sitting right now. So yeah, having that fish lip open on me when I was pressing that, I'm pretty sure I got the forge weld reset, because you saw I squeezed it on the sides and nothing popped open. We'll take a look at it after it cools down, but hopefully I got it. Alright, cleaned it up just a little bit there. The seams look really pretty good. There's just a little bit right there. A little bit right there, but I don't think it's running too deep. So, instead of just doing raindrop on that, I'm going to cut this thing in two right here and do one ladder and then one raindrop. Just because. Why not? It's a good looking chunk of steel. let's do it. Alright, so here's what I have. I cut that into 2 pieces, and they're pretty equal. So I dimpled one side with the drill, and I'm leaving this part undrilled so I know where to hammer my handle. The challenge is going to be because I still have to forge this to shape, are the raindrops going to show up, or are they just going to kind of mush and not really be anything? So I didn't drill them too deep, because if I go too deep, it's going to be more of a challenge to pound them out correctly. So I'm just going to do one piece and make this into a knife. And then we'll come back to you, buddy. Alright, I'm going to call that the end of the video. I'm just going to leave it like this. Leave you on a cliffhanger. As I almost drop it. Yeah, stay tuned for part 2, where I forge this into a knife, etch it, and see what the pattern turns out like. So, stay tuned.